Sequels friends, it's the first Friday of a new month and you know what that means. Let's talk about April sales. Hi Sequels friends, welcome back to my channel. It is so fabulous to have you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you happen to be new, my name is Heather and I am a part-time reseller across various online platforms, and I like to use this YouTube channel to document my journey. Let's get into it. April sales. Blah. Okay, so April sales aren't horrible for a part-time reseller that spends less than 20 hours putting any effort into her business, but they're not as good as last year. And in my humble opinion, they're not as good as they could be. So let's get into the numbers and I'll talk to you about why I think certain things are the way that they are. So first up, total for the month, I grossed $1,955.62. So first of all, right off the bat, let's just say yay for that. There were no sales before I started reselling, and now there are almost $2,000 worth of gross sales a month. So sometimes we get deflated when our sales have not been seeing increases and they aren't going the way that we want them to go. So it's important to kind of pat ourselves on the back for the successes that we are having. As always, $2,000 is what your item sold for. That is not our net. Our net is the amount that actually gets moved over into our bank account. And that is after platform fees, cost of goods, and in some cases shipping, as I do offer free shipping on a couple of platforms. So nets came in at 60% of the total gross, which is a bit lower of an ROI than I have become accustomed to. This does seem to be a trend for 2022. So the net came in at $1,172.31. Again, nothing to be discouraged by. A part-time reseller kind of making a business out of nothing, and to bring home almost $1,200 a month, that's a nice little take-home salary. That would add up quite well to have net returns of $1,200 for 12 months. That means we can make this much money. Not too shabby at all for a little part-time side hustle. Now, having said all those things to pat myself on the back, it's time to say the things that are affecting reality, which is sales are down 23% to March. Not only that, which came in at about $1,500. Not only that, sales are down 20% to April of last year, which came in at about $1,450. So, seeing a decrease to the month prior and seeing a decrease to the year prior, quite discouraging. Positive things. Overall, we sold 82 items. We have been selling items about this many a month, so that stands to reason that we're coming in about the same unit-wise. However, the average sale price has taken a nosedive. Oh my gosh, people, remember last fall when I was praising myself on getting my average sale price over 20 bucks? And now here we are in the new year and I can't seem to get anywhere close to 20 bucks. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. We're gonna talk about that soon. So the average sale price came in at $14.30, and in March, it was at $18.93, and again, last April, it was over $18. To me, that is a significant nosedive. Clearance is up. Normally, I sell about 8 to 9% of my total inventory at clearance pricing. Now, my clearance pricing is 55% off. I go deep dive on those markdowns because I figured if it hasn't sold, and I kind of hold on to things longer than I probably should. I'm usually at the 6-month mark before I take markdowns. And if it hasn't moved and sold, it's been renewed, it's been relisted, it's had the titles changed, it's had the price altered. If it's not selling at this time, I'm taking a deep discount just to try to get it out of here. Well, as of 2022, I seem to be having double-digit clearance price percentages, and this month was no exception. For April, my clearance came in at 13%. Let's talk about a few things here based on this information that I've just shared. Clearance continuously is selling all throughout this year. My average sale price, which means my average out the door price, is much lower than it has been for all of this year. I'm selling the same number of units, but making less money. All of this and you know, I've been sourcing higher price pointed goods. I've been focusing a lot on vintage, which is higher price pointed goods. And when I'm out there sourcing even non-vintage items, I'm trying to source items that I think will net me at least 20 bucks. And that has been going on with my sourcing for quite some time now. So what does all of this mean to me? It means to me two things. One, I think a lot of people are accepting lower offers, especially on Poshmark with the whole algorithm thing. And just in general, if their sales are slower, they may be more apt to accept lower offers, which means a lot of the rest of us will be more apt to have to accept lower offers to stay competitive. Two, I think customers are looking for deals. I think there's two types of customers out there right now. One who is experiencing this inflation situation that we're in, a recession, if some might want to go ahead and call it that are experiencing what we are in, and they are tailoring their budgets accordingly. And then I think there's another person who's experiencing what we were in and they have no budget, or their budget is slashed in half. So that's where my thoughts are right now. Before I get into what my upcoming strategy is going to be, let's talk about a couple more things. This month, over 25% of the items, the 80 plus items that sold, over 25% of them netted me over $20. Now, this percentage is fairly consistent with what I've seen in the past. So what's happening right now is I'm selling things at a fantastic price, netting over $20, over $40, over $50, and then I'm selling things and netting like $5 or $10. And there seems to be little to no in between. But here's an interesting thing. 30% of my total inventory that I sold, so out of all those 80 items, 30% of them that sold were vintage. That is versus 31 in March. So we've consistently seen an increase in my vintage sales since I've been going after it. So that's good. That's another thing to pat myself on the back for, seeing that customer out there and going after it. But here's what's really interesting to me. Out of that 30% of items that I sold that were vintage, if you look at just those vintage items, 44% of the vintage items net over 20 bucks. So this is again showing to me it's smart to go after vintage. It's smart to go after vintage because vintage does bring in a higher average retail, but also now some of my vintage that has been sitting on clearance for a while is moving because it's price point driven, which again makes me think that that customer is looking for some deals. So given all this information, what are my goals going forward? As I said, I'm going to continue to focus on vintage. Not only do I love it, but it's also has proven to sell for me, and it's also proven to sell for me for a higher average retail. And given that I am in what I would consider a more rural area, it is a product category that I can easily source. It's also a product category that I can source well online at a low buy-in price. So I am going to continue to go after vintage. Now, however, non-vintage merchandise, I'm gonna change my strategy. I've heard a few other resellers talking about this. I've seen a lot of resellers who aren't seeing any changes at all, and kudos to you. But I am seeing changes, and I do feel like I need to react to them. And so I'm going to do a strategy I've seen some other resellers do that are having similar things going on with their business. And I'm actually going to go back to sourcing items that I think will sell and not focus exclusively on sourcing items that will net me over 20 bucks. So for me, this means going to the bins more and also going ahead and getting some of those boxes that I've been holding off on getting when sourcing online because they are bringing me in a profit, but they weren't bringing me in the average sale price I was looking for. My thought process here is that there is a whole group of people that are looking for killer deals. And if I can source items, especially in the bins, that may bring me in less than 20 bucks, but I can hit volume, then it's worthwhile to me because I'd much rather see an increase in my monthly sales than not. So I would love to hear what you guys are doing. Are you seeing steady sales increase? Are you seeing a little bit slower sales but adjusting your strategy? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's talk about the sales by category comparative to last year. So I'm gonna pop up right here both the charts circled. Aside from the categories being somewhat different, which I'm really kind of concerned tops weren't up there this month, which makes me want to go back and look at my top inventory. It may be a little fall winter heavy. But aside from that, look at the items that I circled. I had accessories, bags, home, jewelry. What is that? 2, 4, 5 categories brought me in over $100. Now, if you look back on this year's, only 4 categories brought me in over $100. And if you look at those, if you're an eagle eye and you're looking at those jewelry and going, Heather, that strategy's not working for you. Look at how many dollars you made last year. Just know that I had a Trifari item that I sold that month, as well as a Bakelite item that came in a Goodwill box. So that was an extraordinary jewelry month. But I just want to show you that to look at how the sales are breaking down by category, how that changes per year, and then also where those total dollar sales that I'm down on, what categories I'm losing them out of. Now we know it was going to come to this. Let's talk about sales by platform, because I would say the elephant in the room, but I don't even know if it's an elephant in it. I don't even know what to call it. All I'm saying is if I could give a super FU finger to Poshmark, I would give it right now, but I'm trying to contain myself. Poshmark is the bane of my existence right now. So now that I went on my little rant, let's talk about sales by platform. Look at this chart and compare it to last year. Now, you can see all my little handwritten marks here. Let's jump down to Facebook. Facebook is pretty flat to what I was doing last year. A little check mark there. So nothing wrong with that. Thrilling I didn't have last year, so even with $25, kudos to me, because that's $25 extra in my pocket. Etsy, I was just dabbling in at this point last year with only 2%, and it's up to 10%, so that's good. That's nice to see that increase. And Mercari I didn't have last year. It was 2 years ago that I was back on Mercari, so that's a nice increase. But the 2 categories, the 2 platforms that make me historically the most money are the 2 that are driving me nuts. Let's talk about eBay first. eBay is down. Last year, eBay made $570 versus this year's $442. That is $128 less. That is a 22.4% decrease. If you remember from when I talked earlier, I'm down about 20%. So just eBay is down that amount. Now again, I'm making up for that with the other platforms. But Poshmark, guys. Poshmark. Last year on Poshmark, I made $739. This year on Poshmark, I made $364. That is a $375 decrease. That is a 50% decrease. I don't know what other platform there is that can make up that money besides doing something dramatically different on eBay. So that's where the platforms are. Let me know what's going on with your guys' business. Are you seeing a nosedive in Poshmark sales? Are you seeing a decrease in eBay sales? Are you seeing an increase in all your other platforms? Let me know in the comment section below. If anything, we can commiserate together. I'll share with you guys the items that did make me over $20, as I always do. I am going to do something a little bit different today. Instead of posting them all right here, we're going to flip around the camera and I am going to show them to you on the computer on the platform they are listed. And we will talk about the cost, the sale price, what I listed it for, and the net, as I always do. It's just going to be in a little bit different platform or a little bit different format, just so that hopefully it'll make the editing of this video a bit quicker. First up, this ivory cream quilt with a crochet center wedding ring design. This is from my partner's mom, the items that we're selling for her. This one I listed across all platforms, starting at $49, and ended up selling on Mercari for an offer of $46, and I ended up netting $30.76. Next up is this vintage 1960s Jacqueline plaid dress. I've had this for over a year, got it at Goodwill, sold it on Poshmark, listed for $39, took an offer for $35, and net $20.59. Next, a Facebook sale. UGG Classic Tall Boots came in a Goodwill shoebox. I had them listed, prices are all over the place. It looks like $49. I sold them for $49 and netted $33.39. Another Poshmark sale and some more vintage home goods from my partner's mom. This sold on Poshmark, listed for $39, took an offer for $28 and netted $22.40. Take those offers when sales are low and your cost of goods is nothing. A great sale that you guys have seen, I think, on one of my flip of the week. This one is from Etsy. Those Archdale Paisley 60s pajamas I got at a local thrift store, listed for $39, sold for $39, and netted $29.36. An eBay sale here, linen, great for summertime. This is vintage 90s Carolina Colors maxi dress, button front, listed for $49, took an offer all in at $43.29 and netted $23.70. Michael Kors Goodwill blue box, again, sold on Poshmark, listed for $49, offer for $41 and net $25.31. Next up is another Poshmark sale. This is an item I bought for myself. It didn't fit, so I ended up selling it. The cost was $14, but I consider the cost nothing because it came from my closet. Listed for $34, took an offer for $25, netted $20 even. Another flip of the week that you guys have seen, this time it is a Facebook sale. Just because it's damaged doesn't mean it won't sell. I had these starting at $100 and slowly lowered them. My low was $40 when somebody offered me $40, and my cost of goods is nothing. I took it and netted $40. Look at that. It's a thrilling sell, and it is another vintage item. This is a Brighton leather belt that cost me just $1.99 from Salvation Army. I had it listed for $20. It's $29. It sold for $29, and I netted $24.11. Yes, on a belt. Some of you guys will recognize this baby jacket from a ThredUp rescue box. Sold it on eBay, listed for $49. Took an offer all in for $45.19 and netted $25.49. This is the second or third baby item that I've sold. Another flip of the week I think you're going to see soon is this vintage handmade stacked quilt. It is heirloom. I had it listed for $249. Again, zero cost of goods, came from my partner's mom, so when somebody offered me $164.99, I took it and netted $128.56. Use pirate ship in a big old envelope to ship it for only $8.40. Just a tip for you guys to save on shipping. Another linen maxi dress from the 90s. This one I got at Goodwill and I sold it on Etsy. $34 asking price, so they bought it for $34, and I ended up netting, after free shipping and cost of goods, $21.65. Another ThredUp box. This is the DIY t-shirt box. It is a concert tees. Concert tees always do well. Sold it on eBay. Asked $29, all in $33.99 with shipping, and I netted $22.21. Y'all, I did not want to let this go for this price, but my cost of goods is so low that I took my offer. I had it listed for $79, hoped to get $59 for it. When I had multiple lowball offers under $39, I ended up taking one, so I took a $34 offer, and I still ended up netting $21.21. Cost of goods were fairly low at $6, so I felt like I could let it go. Great find from a local thrift store. Sold it on Poshmark. These oversized, soft, structured blazers are doing really well. Listed for $35, sold for $35, and netted $21.28. Be on the lookout for these in the vintage section. They are moving. Another flip of the week that you guys have seen, Mammut. This I only paid $7 for it at a local Goodwill. Sold it on eBay, listed for $74, took an offer of $57.99 all in, and ended up netting $35.32, and that was on a damaged jacket. This brand will get you a lot more if you can find it in better condition than the hole that mine had, but still $35 on a $6 flip or $7 flip. Can't complain about that. Love this. Came from a Joe Mart vintage box. It is 80s Paris Sports Club denim mini skirt. It's sold on eBay. Asking price $39. Took an offer all in at $39 and ended up netting $22. This week's flip of the week is this Eric Javis straw tote, new to me brand, thrifted at Salvation Army. And I ended up selling this one on eBay in just 2 days, listed for $79, took an offer all in at $68.99, and I ended up making $40.16. May have been able to make a little bit more if I shipped it cheaper. It did cost $12.66 to ship, but not a bad $40 flip on a $250 investment. And this dress, y'all, I love it. If you saw my last vintage thrift haul, you will recognize it. I sold this puppy on Etsy, listed for $49. Yes, it sold for full asking price of $49. After platform fees and shipping, I made $29.54. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I will be back on Sunday, God willing, if everything goes as planned, because it has not been the last couple of weeks. But if everything goes as planned, I will be back with you guys on Sunday with some more reselling content. Thanks for your patience while I try to get my shit back in order. I do so appreciate it. When business changes, I focus all on that and neglect all my social media, so I do apologize for that. But thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye! Miss Furiosa.